Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and we did it! We actually collected all the magical musket cards. I actually went over to Top Games and got my last magical musketeer Caspar from my buddy Cody, so I really quickly want to give mad shoutouts to Cody. I really appreciate it, and I actually included your tech in this deck. So without further ado guys, let's get into this deck profile. Today we're going to be deck profiling magical muskets. This deck is actually a lot of fun, and it's kind of like handtraps.deck. It's a lot of fun, and I'm really starting to love it. It's getting to be on par with how much I like Dark Lords. I mean, it's going to be hard to beat a Shell. Like, a Shell is bae. But this deck is really, really good, and I really enjoy it. So let me show you guys how it's played. So again, though, Cody, cannot thank you enough for helping me get this deck put together. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you, Richard, for trading me 2 of those Starfires that I really needed for this deck. So anyways, guys, let's get straight on into this deck. It's a really, really, really fun deck. So here we go. So first off, we're going to play 3 copies of Magical Musket Caspar. You must play 3 of Magical Musket Caspar in this deck. During either player's turn, you can activate Magical Musket spell or trap cards from your deck or from your hand. If a spell or trap card is activated in this card's column, you can add a Magical Musket card from your deck to your hand, which is really, really cool. The thing about Magical Muskets is they all share the same effect of, if they have a spell or trap activated in their column, then you get to activate their specific effects. Caspar's specific effect is that you get to add any Magical Musket card from the deck to the hand. But the cool thing is that I will really quickly tell you guys, if at all possible, if you're playing against a Pendulum deck, place it in their Pendulum Zone columns, like in position 5 and position 1, because it will activate upon them activating a scale on their turn, which is really nice. Then we play 3 copies of Kid Brave. Kid Brave is kind of the draw power of the deck. If you, when this card is on the field and a spell or trap is activated in his column, you can discard a Magical Musket card from your hand to draw 2 cards, which is really, really cool. Then we play 2 copies of Doc. These are all the level 3s. We play 2 Doc. His effect is if the spell or trap is activated in his column, you get to add a Magical Musket spell or trap from your graveyard to your hand. Or any Magical Musket card from your graveyard to your hand, which is nice, because he lets you add any of the monsters back, too. That's it for the level 3s. For the level 4s, we're playing 1 copy of Calamity. She's kind of like Monster Reborn for this deck. If you have Calamity in your hand, or if she's on your field and the spell or trap gets activated in her column, the cool thing about it is she gets to bring back any Magical Musket monster from your graveyard and special summon it in defense position, which is kind of nice. Then my personal favorite of all the Magical Muskets is Starfire. Starfire is the combo starter, in my opinion, of the deck. She is the main monster. In my opinion, she's actually better than Caspar. Yeah, I said it. If she's on the field and you activate a spell or trap, or your opponent activates a spell or trap in her column, you get to special summon a level 4 or lower Magical Musket from your deck in defense position, which is kind of nice. Usually you're going to summon Caspar to get his search off next. So like, I would put her in position 1 way over on the left, and then I put special summon him in position 5 way on the right. So I would get a search, I get a special summon and then a search if they activate both their pendulum scales. Then we play Magical Musket Wild, which he's my favorite art, but he kind of is the worst one, besides Yugioh. Wild's effect is kind of like Pot of Avarice. If you have 3 or more Magical Musket cards in your graveyard, when a spell or trap is activated in his column, you can shuffle all 3 of them into the deck to draw 1 card, which is kind of nice. Then finally, I play 1 Yugioh. Yugioh is very helpful in some situations. He can help out quite a lot if you get him in the right time. You can tribute summon him by tributing any 1 Magical Musket. So he just requires 1 tribute. And during either player's turn, you can activate a Magical Musket spell or traps from your hand. And then once per turn during your opponent's end phase, you can draw cards equal to the number of Magical Musket spell or traps activated during the turn this card was face up on the field. He is a great one-of because he is searchable by Caspar. and I really enjoy him in the deck just at 1. But that's it for the monsters. Let's get into the spells. The monster count is kind of low, I know, with just 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 monsters. But you don't need all that many. As long as you see 1, you're going to kind of go off. I mean, you really will. So for the spells, I am playing 1 tech card that I want you guys to guess what it is. Okay, this card is crazy, and I'm giving another mad shout out to Cody over at Top Games. I really appreciate you showing me this, and you are the top deck legend, I've got to tell you. So, guys, guess what this is, and I'll tell you in 3 seconds what it is. So, 3, okay, 2, 1. Here we go. It is the Rank Up Magic, the 7th one. Okay, Cody beat me twice with this when we played a mirror match. It was nuts. He top decked it really at the optimal time. The first game, it was just like crazy how he top decked it. The second time, it was just, whoa. It was amazing. I board wiped him, and I shuffled his deck, and he drew it. And I was like, oh my god, you did not just do that. So this card is really, really good. It's a great one-of in the deck. You don't ever really need more than 1. It can really, really help in the deck. Because this deck does lack monster count, and you don't really add any spells or traps to the hand besides the magical muskets, and you don't have anything that you draw outside of the draw phase in the deck. It's a great one-of, because you really can go off with this. Going into C101 or C107, which is something that I'm playing that he wasn't. So then we play 3 Cross Dominations. Cross Domination is like Shrink mixed with Effect Veiler all at once. Cross Domination's effect is that if you control a magical musket, you can target a face-up monster your opponent controls, drop its attack to 0, and negate its effect, which is crazy. It is a must-of 3-of. Then we play 3 Steady Hands. Steady Hands doubles the attack of a magical musket, which is really, really good. Then I played 2 copies of Pot of Duality. I dropped the 3rd one for the 7th one. If you don't want to play Pot of Duality, you can drop the 7th one for like a, I don't know, Upstart Goblin, and drop these 2 for Desires. I do not like Desires. That's why I'm playing this. And I don't special summon all that much in this deck. It's not all the time, but you do special summon. But you can kind of time it when you need it. So then I play 3 copies of Ties of the Brethren. Ties of the Brethren is really, really, really good in this deck. You pay 2,000 life points, and you target 1 level 4 or lower monster you control. For the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon. And monsters also special summon, let's see. You cannot special summon for the rest of monsters. Also special summon 2 monsters from your deck with the same type, attribute, and level, which basically, like your climb is you either do Doc, Kid Brave, and Caspar. You do those 3 as a team, or you do Wild, Starfire, and Calamity. Usually you don't go for the 4, you go for the 3 because you play more of the 3s than the 4s. So that's kind of a thing in the deck. But you usually will just go for the Caspar play when you're going for Ties of the Brethren. Then I play 3 Toon Table of Contents, because if a card is activated in their column that's a spell or trap, it kind of makes them go off. If you can't afford these, you can kind of drop them out and play some other spell and traps like Upstart Goblin 1 day apiece, MSTs, you know, anything that, or Twin Twisters, anything that activates in their column. The reason I play this is because this is not once per turn. So it's really, really, really good. Then 1 Toon World, because this gives me 4 effects per turn. I mean, it's crazy. Something else that you might want to consider playing in this deck is Double Summon, because if you can get 2 of them out on the field at the same time, it can really, really help. And it gets, like, if I have Caspar here, and then I activate Double Summon under him, it gets his effect off, and then I can get Kid Brave out and get Kid Brave's effect too. So, like, that is the ending field with a Double Summon any 2 magical muskets. Or I can even go into Zakeel if I need to, which is really, really good. So that's it for the spells. The spells are really good. This is nuts, I have to say. It's crazy. So let's get into the spells really quick. They're pretty interesting, or the traps are pretty interesting. Fiendish Deal, we only play 1 Fiendish Deal because it's continuous and we don't want to block out our zones. But magical musket cards you control cannot be destroyed by battle, or by card effects, I mean. which is really good. If this card in your possession is sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card effect, you can add 1 magical musket card from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is nice. If your opponent, like MSTs or Twin Twisters this, you instantly get a search. Then we play 1 Dancing Needle. Dancing Needle is really good too. It banishes any 3 cards out of your opponent's graveyard. I have done some crazy stuff with Dancing Needle, but it's really a one-of because it's searchable. Desperado is really, really, really good. It lets you target any card your opponent controls and destroy it. Or you target 1 face-up card your opponent's field and destroy it. The only sucky thing is it does have to be face-up for you to kill it. But Desperado is really, really good. And then Magical Musket Last Stand is a definite 3-of. I see some people playing it too, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it's a speed spell 3 that negates any spell or trap. What are you doing? This literally stops strike. Like, why would you not play this at 3? This pops the monsters for me, and this pops the spell and trap, so it's like, again, hand trap dot deck. That's why I don't play any, really, I don't play any hand traps in this deck because I don't have any Ash Blossoms, but you don't need Ghost Ogre when you've got Desperado, in my opinion. So, that's it for the main deck. Let's get into the extra deck. I really, really have to say, this is a lot of fun. This deck is a lot of fun, and it's really fun when you can get into a mirror match with this deck. So we play 1 Borreload because you can bring out 4 monsters in a turn easy. I play 1 Decode Talker because it's easy to bring out 3 in a turn and keep them on the field. 1 Proxy Dragon in case my opponent makes a Decode Talker, and I can make this under their Decode Talker to give myself 2 Link Zones. Then I play 107 and C107 Tachyon Dragon because this, if I top deck into the 7th one and then make this, and I know that I can get 2 monsters on the field, and I know that I can get through my opponent's back row, I'm going to win because this lets me attack twice. I contribute 2 monsters. This card can make up to 3 attacks on monsters during the battle phase this turn. So if they leave a bunch of monsters in attack position at the end of my turn, and I can get 2 of my magical muskets on the field, I'm coming at you with 3 4,500 attacks, and I'm going to keep this monster. So it's crazy good. Then I play a 101 and a C101. Usually I kept seeing Cody make this over the C107. He didn't play this. He played the C107. I just added this as my personal little thing. The C107, once per turn you can target a special summon monster your opponent controls and attach it to this face-up card as material, so it steals it for free. And then when this card is destroyed by any means and sent to the graveyard, while this card has XYZ materials, which it will, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, then gain life points equal to the original attack of this card. So it lets you gain 2,800 attack or 2,800 life points. And if it has number 101, Silent Honor Arc, must be in your graveyard to activate and resolve the effect. If this card is special summoned this way, it cannot attack for the rest of the turn. I don't care. This thing is going to steal something again and come back again. Like, this thing is hard to kill once it's out. So you got to play the C101, and it is awesome and Ultimate Rare, by the way. Then we play the Utopia engine, which is a Utopia S39, and then a S39 Utopia the Lightning. So it's Prime and then Lightning. This engine really works very well in the deck. You kind of sometimes, like with Neo Galaxy Eyes, you need that quick, like really fast ram, and you can do it with double summon. You can make any of this very, very easily. 1 Baguska, because it's the best rank 4 in the game right now, in my opinion, besides making Utopia the Lightning, ranking up into Utopia the Lightning. Tornado Dragon, because I can pop spell and traps. Now, I don't play any main deck spell and trap destruction, because I have Tornado Dragon. Castel, because it bounces stuff. And then because I play level 3s, I play Breaksword and Grand Pulse, because again, spell and trap removal, anything removal. So that's it for the deck. I really, really enjoy this deck. I cannot emphasize how much fun this is, and I cannot emphasize how the 7th one works in this deck so darn well, because you don't draw in this deck, so if you top deck it, it's gonna go off. Like, this is gonna go off, and this is like the MVP of the deck sometimes. But yeah, I really enjoy this deck. It's a lot of fun, and you can only resolve this once per turn, and you have to draw, like if you draw it, you have to reveal it. This card is nuts. But anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. I really, really am so glad that I actually was able to make this happen with this deck. This deck is a lot of fun. But anyways, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think down in the description below, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys. DarkArmedDuelist out.